The Senate elections are just as important as the presidential elections. Today, we are going to review with you the shocking results of the latest polls in a short and concise way. By the end of this video, you will understand everything very clearly. Let's get started. Republicans currently have a strong chance of reclaiming the Senate, thanks to the fact that they're only defending 11 seats, while Democrats are defending 23. Many of those Democratic seats are in competitive states, where recent polling shows tight races or Republican leads. So let's take a detailed look at each state, analyze the polling data, and see where things might be headed as Election Day approaches. Subscribe to our channel and write in the comments whether you support Republicans or Democrats so that we can see which party has more supporters. We'll begin with the states where Republicans are expected to hold on to their Senate seats with little to no difficulty. In Wyoming, Republican Senator John Barrasso is seeking re-election. Wyoming is one of the most reliably Republican states, and Barrasso is expected to win easily. No recent polling suggests a close race, making this a safe Republican seat. Utah. With Senator Mitt Romney choosing not to run for re-election, Congressman John Curtis is expected to win the seat for the Republicans. Utah hasn't elected a Democrat to the Senate in decades, and this race is likely to follow that pattern. Utah is safely Republican, Mississippi and Tennessee. Both Mississippi's Senator Roger Wicker and Tennessee's Senator Marsha Blackburn are running for re-election and are expected to win easily. Polling shows Blackburn with a 21-point lead, and Wicker is similarly well-positioned. These are both safe Republican seats. In North Dakota, Republican Senator Kevin Cramer is seeking re-election. Polls show Cramer leading by 37 points, making this race an easy win for the GOP. North Dakota remains solidly Republican. Nebraska has 2 Senate races this year, both expected to go to the Republicans. Incumbent Senator Deb Fischer is leading her Democratic challenger by 26 points, making Nebraska's seat safe for the GOP, lean Republican seats. These are races where Republicans are favored, but the margins are closer, and Democrats could make inroads if the political climate shifts. Senator Rick Scott is running for re-election in Florida, where he holds a lead of between 4 and 17 points over his Democratic challenger. Florida has been shifting toward Republicans in recent years, and Scott is likely to hold on to his seat, though it remains a race to watch. In Texas, Republican Senator Ted Cruz is running for a third term. Cruz has an 8-point lead over Democratic challenger Colin Allred in recent polling. While Texas has become more competitive, Cruz remains favored, and Texas leans Republican for now. Montana's Senate race is another closely watched contest. Democratic Senator Jon Tester is running for re-election in a state that has voted Republican in recent presidential elections. Tester's opponent, Republican Tim Sheehy, currently leads by 5 points. This race leans Republican but remains competitive. In West Virginia, Democratic Senator Joe Manchin is retiring, giving Republicans a strong chance to flip this seat. Republican Governor Jim Justice is leading by 33 points in recent polls, making this a likely Republican gain. In Indiana, Congressman Jim Banks is running to replace retiring Senator Mike Braun, who is running for governor. Banks holds a 10-point lead over his Democratic opponent, making this a likely Republican hold. Missouri's Senator Josh Hawley is running for a second term. He currently leads his Democratic opponent by 9 points, and while Missouri has trended Republican, the race remains competitive. Missouri leans Republican. Now let's take a look at the states where Democrats are expected to retain control without much challenge. In Hawaii, incumbent Senator Mazie Hirono is running for her third term. Hawaii has consistently been a deep blue state, and Hirono is widely expected to win. There are no recent polls to suggest a Republican challenge, making this a safe Democratic hold. Moving to Washington, Senator Maria Cantwell is seeking her 5th term in office. Polling shows her with a strong 23-point lead over her Republican challenger, Dr. Raul Garcia. Given Washington's long Democratic history, this seat is considered solidly blue. In California, a highly visible race is unfolding as Democrat Adam Schiff runs for the open seat left by retiring Senator Dianne Feinstein. Schiff is leading Republican candidate Steve Garvey by a wide margin of 31 points in the most recent polls. California has been reliably blue for decades, and this race is no exception. In Minnesota, Amy Klobuchar is seeking her fourth term. She holds a 20-point lead over potential Republican challengers in recent polls. Minnesota's trend toward Democratic candidates remains strong, making this a safe seat for Klobuchar. New York, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is running for re-election in New York. While there is no current polling data, New York's history as a Democratic stronghold gives Gillibrand a comfortable win, so be sure to like the video if you support Gillibrand. This is considered a safe Democratic seat. Vermont, Independent Senator Bernie Sanders, who caucuses with the Democrats, is seeking another term. Sanders is extremely popular in Vermont, and despite a lack of polling, he is expected to win handily. Vermont remains a safe Democratic seat. Massachusetts is home to another safe Democratic seat, where Senator Elizabeth Warren is running for her third term. Polls show Warren with a commanding 20-point lead over her Republican opponents. Given Massachusetts' strong Democratic tilt, Warren is expected to secure another easy win. Rhode Island and Connecticut. Both states are expected to remain safely in Democratic hands. In Rhode Island, Senator Sheldon Whitehouse is seeking re-election, and in Connecticut, Senator Chris Murphy is also running again. Neither faces significant opposition, and both states are reliably blue. In New Mexico, Wisconsin, Maine, New Jersey, Delaware, and Maryland, Democrats are expected to hold their Senate seats with relative ease, as incumbents like Martin Heinrich, Tammy Baldwin, and Angus King, along with strong Democratic candidates in open races, lead comfortably in polls or benefit from the state's reliable Democratic voting patterns. Lean Democratic seats. These are races where Democrats are favored, but the margins are closer, making them worth watching. Nevada. One of the most competitive Senate races this cycle is in Nevada, where incumbent Democrat Jackie Rosen is facing off against Republican Sam Brown. Recent polls show Rosen with a narrow 5-point lead. Nevada has a history as a battleground state, so this race remains one to watch, though it currently leans Democratic. Arizona is another state to keep an eye on, where Democratic candidate Ruben Gallego is leading Republican Kari Lake, with incumbent Senator Kyrsten Sinema choosing not to run after switching from Democrat to Independent. The race has become a two-way contest. Recent polling shows Gallego with a slight 4-point lead, making this seat lean Democratic for now. In Virginia, Senator Tim Kaine is running for a third term. While Virginia has been competitive in recent elections, Kaine holds a comfortable 10-point lead over his Republican challenger. The state has been trending Democratic, and Kaine's incumbency makes this seat likely to stay blue. Michigan, Democratic Senator Debbie Stabenow is retiring in Michigan, opening up a competitive race. Democrat Alyssa Slotkin is leading Republican candidate Mike Rogers by 5 points in recent polls. Michigan remains a battleground state, but Slotkin's lead makes it lean Democratic for now. Pennsylvania is another battleground, but Democratic Senator Bob Casey Jr. is expected to hold on to his seat. Polls show Casey with a 5-point lead over Republican challenger Dave McCormick. Pennsylvania leans Democratic, though this race could tighten in the coming months. In Ohio, Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown is facing a tough re-election battle. Ohio has been trending Republican in recent years, but Brown has consistently performed well. He currently leads Republican Bernie Moreno by 4 points, making Ohio a lean Democratic state for now. As we head toward the 2024 Senate elections, control of the chamber is up for grabs. Republicans are defending fewer seats, giving them an advantage, but many Democratic incumbents are fighting hard to hold onto key battleground states. Nevada, Arizona, Ohio, and Pennsylvania will be critical in determining the final balance of power in the Senate. With many races still close, anything can happen in the months leading up to Election Day. Stay tuned for further updates as we track these key contests and watch how they develop in this pivotal election year.